Hey everybody, this is The Great Escape and welcome to another episode here on our Minecraft Redstone world where I'm going to show you another tutorial on how to build a useful farm in your world that's relatively cheap for the early game. This one is a little bit more expensive than some of the other farms I've built because of the number of hoppers that you might need to build this, as well as the fact that you'll need to be able to capture one of these guys, or two for this farm, a villager. But what we're going to be building today is a completely modular, stackable villager auto farming system for carrots and potatoes. It could potentially also work with beetroot. I haven't really tested it on that yet, but this will give you all of your needs. I've let the system run for about 30 minutes, and as you can see, we get about 4 stacks of each when the farm is in operation. So let's go ahead and get right to that tutorial. So first we're going to look at the materials that you'll need in order to build this, and first recommendation is that you actually build this underground. It will require a lot of digging out in order to do that, because if you don't dig it, if you don't build it underground, you're going to have to put this shader up on the top, which is 3 blocks all around. The materials in here account for an underground construction build where you don't have to have that shader, but if you want to build it above your base, you would just need to add some more of your building blocks. So here's what you're going to need, and as I said, it's not just a completely super cheap build, but there are places where you can save some money and cut some corners on this. So first you're going to need over 300 blocks of your choice building material. If you want it to look exactly like the one on mine, you'll need about 128 blocks of glass. You'll need 3 stacks of dirt. You'll have a little bit of that left over. You'll need 4 glowstone. It also works with sea lanterns if you wanted to do that. 3 pieces of carpet of your color choice. 8 hopper minecarts. And 19 hoppers. Now you could save a little bit with hoppers, and as I'm building it I'll show you where that savings can come in. You'll need 8 string, about 2 stacks of carrots and potatoes, and you'll get some of the excess back from that. Now these are kind of temporary materials or ones that you're not going to waste, but a water bucket, or maybe 2 if you need to make a infinite water source. Some kind of activator, so a block of redstone or a lever, 4 rails, and 4 pistons. Oh, and you'll also, of course, need a chest to keep everything in, so I'd recommend, 2 chests for this. So those are the materials that you're going to need, so let's go ahead and get right to our construction. Alright, for construction, for the first thing, what you're going to want to build is a square that is 11 by 11. I'm just going to go up I'm going to go up 3 blocks so you can see the underneath a little bit easier. But of course, that's that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you just want to finish that off. Going across like this and in like this. All right. Now, if you wanted to put a base on this, you could. The base would be at this level here, but you don't necessarily need it. The next thing you're going to want to do is grab your dirt, and you're going to fill in that square, leaving that block right there empty, and then you'll just fill in the rest. All right. And then so now you have your planting ground here, and in order for we're saving a little bit by only having 1 water block within this area, but we need 1 more water block, so it's actually going to go right here, so you can take that block out. But first, before you do that, you'll want to grab your trapdoor and plop the trapdoor up on the side so it closes in like that, and you can remove this block here. Now, obviously, your water's gonna run out of there, so you'll want to put a block there to hold that water in, and that is the bottom layer completed. The next step, you can just go ahead and build up your walls if you want, and they need to be 3 high. So I like to put construction blocks in the corner like this, and then put glass going along the walls. So let me go ahead and finish that up, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so as you can see, we've got our glass walls in there, and I actually left a little space here so that I can get in and out of this area. It's also where you could push your villager in here once you get there. Last couple steps, we do need a block right there to hold that water in. And I'm gonna go ahead and drop that water into the space, and on this side as well. Brief little note about the water here. If you're building this in a world that is on 1.3, you may run into an issue with the trapdoors, so just make sure that you're not waterlogging that trapdoor, or you can use another device to hold the water back, like fence post or fence gate or something like that. But as long as you make sure it's not waterlogged, it should not be a problem. All right, and so that is our completed bottom layer. And what we're gonna go ahead and do, if I can get in this hole, there we go. What we're gonna go ahead and do is start building in the collection area next. And so if you come from this block here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, this is gonna be the middle block. So right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides. This is our middle block, and this is where we're going to put our collection area. So if you want to go ahead and clear out these 4 blocks, you're going to be replacing 4 of them. And then what you can do is build up a hopper system that comes up like this. And then 1 block down, you're going to crouch click hoppers into the side of those like this. So that you have kind of like a cross of hoppers. Now, from underneath, it's going to look like this. Now, here's a location where you could save a little money, because obviously if you were building this underground, you could build your collection area right here, and this is all of the kind of, or here's kind of the base of the hoppers that you're going to need. But if you don't want to build your collection area there, what I have is right out front like this. I have another kind of hopper line running out like this, with that last hopper going in there. Oops. Going in like that. And so if you built your collection area right here, you would save 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hoppers. So that's a good place where you could save a little bit of money. Now, the next thing you want to do is come up here to this hopper, crouch, and then click 1, 2, 3. So you have 3 high hoppers going up to the walls like that. And that is the bottom area pretty much complete except for the roof. So let's go ahead and get up here and put the roof on. And all you just need to do is top this off with whatever building block you decided to use. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish that, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're finishing up the roof here, and what you want to make sure you do is just leave that block right there empty, but now we have the entire bottom area complete. You can go ahead and add a carpet over this water source, which can sometimes be a pain. Oh. Nope. Let's go back, put that water source there. If you target like at the edge of another carpet like that, there you go. You could also use a lily pad there if you prefer to use a lily pad, and there you go. So the bottom area is now complete, and if we come up here to the top, all we need to do is put a ring like this around the outside. And you can leave this ring off. It would just mean that the interior layer of dirt would be exposed to the outside. It's completely an aesthetic choice for you. And then go ahead and fill in your dirt like so. Except when you get here, make sure you leave that little cross pattern like that in the dirt, and then you just want to fill in the rest. So once you've got all of that in, if you want it to be symmetrical and line up, go ahead and find where you put your other water block. So it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and break out this block here and drop some water in and top it off with a carpet, which means on this side, this block right here is going to be our water block. So if you put your trapdoor on, close that, and then go like so, and then you've got your water source block there. And then you just need to put a roof on this. So it's 3 with glass going up like that, and then obviously the roof would be coming across like this, going around. So I'm gonna go ahead and build all that up, and I'll be right back. All right, so we've got the roof and the walls on here, and so the last little thing we want to do is add just 2 more hoppers coming in like that, and then you can break that block, and you need 1 hopper going in there like that, 1 hopper going in there like that, 1 hopper going in like that, and again just crouch clicking, and 1 going in like that. So we have the exact repetition of what's beneath. Now, if you want to build this more than 2 high, what you would do is copy this, set up with the hoppers there, here, and then you could build another one. You could keep going this up as far as you want to take it, but since we're just doing a 2 high, it's that. But each of the layers would look like this, except for the very top layer, which would look like this. So however you want to build it, if you want to go 4 high or 6 high or whatever, this would be what it would look like. And then just to make it so that your villager doesn't fall into this, you can place a carpet over the top of that hopper there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is provide the lighting, because I'll quickly show you how the farm actually works. If I come over here, notice that the farmer's waiting for things to grow so that he can collect that. But once he collects this here, he's going to try to plant it in this area here. And we've provided the lighting in such a way that, what is he growing? Are these potatoes? Yeah, yeah, potatoes. We've provided the lighting in such a way that if he tries to plant something there, notice that he plants it, but then it breaks off, and those things get picked up and they get taken down below. So he can always try to plant here in this little square, but anytime he plants, that's going to break off, and that's going to go into our system, and then he replenishes his supply of potatoes from the rest of the farm. So let's go back out here. Now, in order to do that, we have to do something kind of a little unique with the lighting. So this is how you're going to want to do your lighting, so that you get that system where it produces the darkness. You're going to find the corner here. You're going to go 1 block in and break that block, and that's where you're going to place your glowstone. And you're going to do that on all 4 corners, like so. And now that's going to make it so that if I tried to plant anything here, it wouldn't grow. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on the top as well. And so that is our lighting completed and done. Now, if you do not want to build this underground, this is where you would need to add the shade. And all you have to do to build the shade is go 3 blocks out like this, all the way around. So I'm going to go ahead and put the shade on this one, and I'll be right back with you. All right, so now we have the shade on the outside, and as you can see, I just went 3 blocks from the last block on all 4 sides. Now, again, if you built this underground, you would not need that step at all, but if you want to build it above ground, it would look like this. All right, so the next step is that we want to put our hopper minecarts into the system, and the reason that we're using hopper minecarts rather than just hoppers is that we want to be able to grab the items out of the air once they break. So when the villager comes over here and tries to plant here or here, and that breaks off, the hopper minecart will suck the potato out of the air so the villager doesn't catch it, so we get more of our materials going into our chest and less going into the villager's inventory. So what you need to do that is crouch click on all 4 of these hoppers and put a rail. And you only need 4 rails because you're going to get those back, and then put a hopper minecart on each of those. And then you just need to come down here and see where you can see the minecart rail right there. Go ahead and break that. And you need to do that on all 4 sides. So let me go ahead and break all of those, and I'll be right back. All right, so we've broken the rails underneath each of those and replaced our our dirt blocks. So next thing you need to do is go ahead and put a dirt block over each of the minecarts like this. Whoops. So you kind of get that, and then grab your piston And you can do this with one piston. You just have to set up this over and over again. So if you want to save a little bit of money on pistons, you can do that. And then you need a piston right on top of that block facing down like that. So however you have to maneuver that in. Oops, I'm in a bad position to do that. Let me do this. Like that. And you want to do a piston like that over each of our little things here. So we'll go there. And another one right there. So once you get the pistons over all of them, all you need to do to activate the pistons, so you can put a lever on it and activate it that way, or you could drop a redstone block like this, and then you can get those pistons back. Now, what you did was you forced the dirt block into the minecart, so now that hopper minecart is sitting inside of that dirt block, and it will pick up anything that is thrown over it like that. Now, one careful thing, I'm not going to show you because I don't feel like redoing this, but do not jump on those blocks right there. If you jump on top of any of these dirt blocks, the hopper minecart will pop out of the dirt and you'll have to put it back in. So just be very careful about that once you go. And then you can go ahead and till up this whole area here. It's now ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and till this, and then I'm going to go up to the next floor and do the hopper minecarts up there. So I'll be right back. And power your pistons. And there you go. So the top layer is now also complete, and so I just need to till up this soil, and I'm going to do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so the last thing we need to do before we get our villager in here is go ahead and grab your string, and if you want to go ahead and grab your potatoes and carrots, you can do that as well. And what we want to do is find that location where the if you plant something, it's going to break off. So as you can see, I was able to plant all those, but if I break this, notice these two right here broke. If I break this one, that one breaks, that one, there we go. All right, so these right here are our collection zones. So anytime he plants there and then they update, they're going to break like that, and we're going to get the break off. So here is these are our breaks. So where I want to put the string is in these four corners right here. Because what that means is if I plant something here and then I walk across that string, I'm activating those blocks, or I'm giving it a block update, and that's going to break out those things. So I'm going to go down to the bottom, and I'm going to put the string in the same place. And I'm just going to double check to make sure that I'm putting... Yep, so the string is going to go here, 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 and there. Yep, I did. All right, cool. So now our square is completely ready for our villagers. Now, you can, if you'd like, go ahead and fill in all of these plots with carrots on one level and potatoes on the next. You can also just let your villager do that. It's completely up to you. If you go ahead and fill it in, it'll mean that your farm will kick into gear a lot faster, but your villager will also plant all this area too, so it's completely up to you. I'm going to let my villager do it. So let me go ahead and grab my villagers, and I'll be right back. All right, so here I've got my villager. Now it needs to be a brown coat villager so that he will farm, and I've got my two villagers here. And what you want to do, so notice I didn't plant anything up here. If you go ahead and grab those couple stacks of potatoes that I recommended that you have to start your farm, and you just chuck those to the villager like so. And then break this glass and then push him on in there. Notice he's going to immediately start planting those crops. Now, he'll plant in every space, and now he has a replenishing area so that he can constantly get new drops. And anything that he doesn't use, you'll actually get back because he's going to break it off and it'll go into your system. Now, the one down here, go ahead and give him the carrots. And let it pick those up, and then push him off into the system as well. Oh goodness. Working with villagers is so much fun. Push him off into the system as well, and he'll start planting and going about his business. All right, so there you go. So you see our guy here is doing that, and this one up here. Now this one I think is actually titled a shepherd. So he is a shepherd, and this one down here I think is a Fletcher. But as long as they're a brown coat villager without an apron, they can't have a black apron or a white apron, they will do the job for you. Now the moment they start doing this, you're gonna get all of those drops that you gave them back. And they'll just go through. Now, if you want to increase the speed of the farm, as I said, you can go in here and fill in all the blank spaces so that he has more crops to come up with. It's completely up to you. It's depends on how quickly you need those crops to grow. But as you can see, we're getting drops coming in as the villager tries to plant and do that. And now, initially you're going to get fast drops out of here because they're anything that they try to plant in there's going to go, and you gave them 2 stacks. But once their inventory runs out, they're going to kind of have to sit like these guys do up here, and they'll wait for something to grow, and then they'll go harvest that, and then they'll replant it, and then they'll try to plant in that central area. So your drops are going to go down from the initial period, but it still is going to be roughly about 2 to 3 stacks every 30 minutes, which is plenty of food or materials for trading. So there you go. That's our stackable modular villager farm. Okay, so there you go. There is a stackable, oh, I can say words, villager farm. Now, obviously, the hardest thing here is going to get those villagers, but using a rail network, you can bring them over. And obviously, the iron might present a problem if you're doing this early game, because there is those 8 hopper minecarts and the other hoppers that you use. But other than that, this is a fairly cheap and simple way to get an automated food system going that will just constantly run in the background of your base, so you don't have to worry about harvesting those crops yourself and go with there. And the more you stack this, the higher efficiency. And again, you could increase the sizes out going in different directions. But if you liked this video or you learned something, drop a like. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And this has been The Great Escape, and I'll see you next time.